A company that spent 145 years in California just walked out. So did the man building rockets outside Los Angeles and the electric car brand that was supposed to be the state's future. Over the last few years, the biggest names in American business have quietly fled the Golden State. These are 6 giant companies that left California, why they did it, and why a lot of regular people are following them straight out the door. And these aren't tiny startups chasing cheap rent. We're talking oil giants, tech titans, and trillion-dollar names that California helped build, walking away on purpose. Once you see the pattern, you might look at your own zip code a little differently. Let's count them down. Number 6, Hewlett Packard Enterprise. To get why this one stings, go back to a tiny garage in Palo Alto, the one with the wooden door that's literally marked as the birthplace of Silicon Valley. That's where Hewlett Packard began back in 1939. So when HPE announced in 2020 that it was moving its headquarters from San Jose to Houston, Texas, it felt symbolic. The company whose roots started Silicon Valley was leaving Silicon Valley behind. And the reasons were brutally simple. Houston was already its biggest employment hub, Bay Area real estate had gotten impossibly expensive, and Texas offered room to build a brand new campus. On talent, on cost, on space, Texas was winning. You don't move your headquarters 1,500 miles unless staying put stopped making sense. And a tech company leaving is one thing. Wait until you see who walked out next. Number 5, Oracle. This is one of the most important software companies on earth, the database empire built by billionaire Larry Ellison. For decades, its towers sat right on the water in the Bay Area, and San Francisco even named its baseball stadium Oracle Park. Then, in December of 2020, Oracle moved its headquarters to Austin, Texas. The official line was employee flexibility, but read between the lines. Austin had exploded as a tech hub and cost a fraction of what California did. For a company that size, that gap is hundreds of millions of dollars. And Ellison didn't stop there. A few years later, Oracle pointed itself toward Nashville, chasing the healthcare industry. The old rule that a tech giant had to stay rooted in Silicon Valley forever, Oracle treated it like a suggestion. Number 4, Charles Schwab. Now we go from tech to money, and this might be the most honest move on the whole list. Schwab is the brokerage that taught millions of Americans how to invest, born in San Francisco in the 1970s. When it relocated its headquarters to Westlake, Texas, just outside Dallas, founder Charles Schwab didn't hide behind corporate spin. He flat out blamed California's high taxes and the cost of doing business. This is a finance guy. His entire career is numbers. When he looks at his own balance sheet and picks Texas, that tells you something. And he committed, building a 500,000 square foot campus that reportedly cost around $100 million. This wasn't about chasing engineers. It was pure dollars and cents, the kind anyone staring at a paycheck understands. And this next one had been a California institution for nearly a century and a half. Number 3, Chevron. This isn't a trendy startup. It's an oil giant whose history in California goes all the way back to 1879, headquartered there for 145 years. Then in August of 2024, Chevron announced it was moving to Houston, the energy capital of the world. And it wasn't just cost. Chevron and California had been at war for years over fossil fuel regulations, and the state had even sued the company. A Chevron executive flat out called California a tough place to do business, tough to recruit, and tough to get employees to move to. By the time of the announcement, the company already had around 7,000 workers in the Houston area and only about 2,000 left in San Ramon. The move had basically already happened. When a 145-year-old California native picks a no-income tax state, that's not a trend. That's a verdict. If you're into this, hit subscribe. We break down where the money in this country is really moving every single week. Now let's get to number 2, where this goes from boardrooms to actual rocket ships. Number 2, SpaceX. Every company so far left for reasons you could put in a spreadsheet. SpaceX is where it gets personal. For years, its headquarters sat in Hawthorne, near Los Angeles, where it built the rockets that started landing themselves back on Earth like science fiction. Then, in 2024, Elon Musk moved the headquarters to Starbase, the remote South Texas launch site the company had been turning into its own town. So much its own town that the locals actually voted to make Starbase a real official Texas city. But Musk made it clear the move was also a direct response to a new California law about how schools handle a student's gender identity, one he strongly opposed. And here's the kicker. The same week SpaceX announced its move, so did Chevron, 2 California giants fleeing in one news cycle. That's not a coincidence, that's a stampede. Number 1, Tesla. If one move lit the fuse on this entire exodus, it was this one. For a while, Tesla was the California company, the symbol of the state's clean energy future, headquartered right in Palo Alto. Then, in 2021, Elon Musk moved it to Austin. The reasons were the same chorus, just louder. The Bay Area had gotten so expensive that workers were getting pushed hours from the office just to afford a home, while Tesla was building a gigafactory the size of a small town outside Austin. But this is number 1 because of the timing. Tesla leaving in 2021 was the domino. It gave every other CEO permission to say the quiet part out loud. If the most futuristic California company of them all could pack up and thrive in Texas, what excuse did anyone else have? Tesla went first, then the flood followed. So why should you care about a few corporate mailing addresses changing? Because the same forces that pushed these companies out are landing on regular people too. Texas has no state income tax. California has the highest top income tax rate in the country, sitting at 13.3% for its biggest earners. Add housing that can cost 2 or 3 times more, plus the price of everyday life, and the math keeps pointing the same direction. Now the honest part, because clickbait titles love to skip this. California is still an economic giant with talent, weather, and industries that exist nowhere else, and plenty of people stay for good reasons. Leaving isn't automatically the right call for everyone. But when an oil giant, a finance legend, and the most famous car company on earth all run the same numbers and reach the same conclusion, it's worth paying attention. So ask yourself their question, am I here because it's actually the best place for me, or just because it's where I've always been? Drop a comment telling me where you live and whether you'd ever leave. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, because the companies leaving are only half the story. Next, we're following the people.